It's that time of year again, when my little crafty heart thinks about Christmas and winter. One of the first things I started doing after learning how to do granny squares was to make little crocheted snowflakes, like these guys. Started off big with yarn and then got smaller and smaller until I can crochet these lovely little lacy things out of cotton. They make wonderful little ornaments. My mother likes to hang them from the ceiling so that it looks like it's snowing inside. I have made a number of snowflakes over the years. This year I thought about doing something a little different. I had been thinking about crocheting a vintage collar, but now we're into Christmas season. I thought maybe a snowflake collar out of nice fine crochet cotton. Should be nice. In this video, I show you common ways to start and grow a snowflake. But like snowflakes being very unique, you can do yours with any number of pattern combinations. Experiment, see what you like. Let's get to the crocheting. Snowflakes! There are a lot of different ways of making snowflakes. I don't use a pattern. I wing it like most things I do. But I do have certain preferences in terms of how I do each round. My snowflakes are only 3 rounds. Very quick, very easy. So I'm going to show you 3 different ways of doing a center round for these, the next round, and the final round, so that you can mix and match and make snowflakes that work for you. These snowflakes are made out of a thicker sport weight yarn with little flecks of metallic. Very nice for Christmas. I think this might have actually been a Christmas yarn. Makes a good size snowflake. And with the right tension, you do not need to starch or block them. I also use the tail to be able to hang them as an ornament. I have also made snowflakes with baby yarn. This one again has the little flecks of metallic. As you can see, it creates a little bit of a smaller snowflake compared to the sport weight yarn. And again, depending upon the size of crochet hook, your tension sizes will vary. Today, I am going to be crocheting using crochet cotton. Much smaller, much finer. This again, though, still has that metallic thread in it. The metallic threads are not beginner friendly. If you're just starting to do finer work, I would recommend just plain white yarn or cotton. A tree who's helping today. Silly fellow. My crochet hook is a 1.4. Good. Starting off with a slip knot. Chaining 5. Slip stitch to join. One of my favorite things with snowflakes to do for the first round is simply 12 double crochets with a chain space in between them. Bye, bubs. So I have chained 3. That is equivalent to 1 double crochet and my chain space.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. A trio. Apparently you made me lose count. But that's how easy it is to undo crochet. Slip stitch into the second chain, and there's one round. I really like this as my base for snowflakes because it's a little lacy, so you can see the color showing underneath, but it's not so empty that it gets all flippy floppy, because I hate starching. For the start of this round, I'm going to do more clusters like a granny square. Chain 2, that equals 1 double crochet. Instead of doing 3 double crochets for a cluster, I'm only going to do 2 because I still want this to have a lacy effect. Chain 1, and then I'm going to do 6 clusters of 2 double crochets, 1 chain. Sometimes you can do a very solid round for your start, like this one, have 18 double crochets in, but it creates a very solid looking snowflake, and I don't like that. But I do like the V stitches, the nice open. Let's try something a little different. So I'm going to do 2 double crochets, chain 2. Because there are 2 chain spaces, that will make it a little bit lacier. Round 2. Going to chain 2, that equals 1 double crochet. Flip my work. I now have a nice convenient space to work into. And for this, I'm going to make the nice little scallopy edges that you see on this one. So each one of these little boop-a-doops has 5 double crochets in it. This equals 1. Now I'm going to do a single crochet into the next chain space, and then 5 double crochets. Single crochet into the next chain space, and carry on doing this pattern all the way around. To join this round, instead of doing a single crochet in this last chain space, because I'm also grabbing the start of the first cluster, I'm going to do slip stitches instead, because there will still be enough bulk that it will look the same. That's the end of the second round for this one. Middle round for this one, again, we're going to do clusters. Chain 2, flip the work, working into this chain space. Again, I'm only going to be doing clusters of 2 double crochets to keep them nice and lacy. Two double crochets, chain, 2 double crochets, chain. Going to do the same thing in each chain space from the previous round. V-stitches. Chain 2, another double crochet in, chain 2, I'm going to try this without putting another chain space in here, and we'll see how it goes. If I don't like it, I'll undo it and try something else. It's part of the joy of crocheting. So much easier to change your mind and try something else. I'd say that worked very well. Third round. To start with, I need to get into the top of this middle double crochet. So I am going to slip stitch along until I'm there. I can do chain 2, that equals 1 double crochet, and I'm going to put 5 double crochets into the top of this cluster. So I've done 3 because now I want to put the picot, that last little bloop on the end of the snowflake. Chain 3, slip stitch, that creates a nice little ball at the end, and now I can carry on with my cluster. So I have a total of 5 double crochets here and the picot at the top in the middle. Now I'm going to create chains to go across, and I'm just going to do 2. I find if I put 3 in, it starts to get loosey-goosey and round instead of being nice straight sides. into the top of the double crochet cluster. There's 3 double crochets, chain 3, slip stitch, 2 more double crochets. Chain 2, and I'm going to carry on with this pattern as I go around my snowflake. And I'm ready to join, slip stitch into the top of the first cluster, and there is one delicate little snowflake finished. Third round for this one is going to be clusters with 3 picots. I'm going to slip stitch along to the chain space, chain 2, 1 more double crochet. Now, fun with picots. Chain 3, slip stitch. Chain 3. Slip stitch at the base of those chains. One more time, chain 3. Slip stitch. And to get a really nice cluster of picots, slip stitch again into the top of the double crochets. Two more double crochets in the chain space from the previous round. And there's what that looks like so far. I redid this first cluster to make the 3 picots a little bit more balanced over top of the double crochets. For some reason it was all like sticking off the side. I don't know. Chain 1, double crochet into the next chain space, chain 1, 2 double crochets, and now for the 3 picots. 1, 2, 3 chains, slip stitch, 1, 2, 3, slip stitch, 1, 2, 3, slip stitch, and then 1 more slip stitch back on the double crochet, and now 2 more double crochets into that same spot. Whew. Okay, that one's a little bit more balanced right off the start. Yay! Chain. Double crochet into the next chain space, chain, and we're just going to keep following this pattern all the way around. If you need to, you can finger press the snowflake just to really give it a nice shape. All of these little piddly picots might be a pain to do, but the effect is well worth it. Sometimes I will do snowflakes without little picots at the points, but I really do prefer the way it looks with that little extra crispness at the points. But I don't want to completely get rid of this nice open space. So what I'm going to do is slip stitch over to the chain space, chain 2, another double crochet, chain 2, now I'm going to chain 3. Do my slip stitch into the second chain, chain 2, and now do 2 more double crochets. So you can see how, yes, I still have the point of the picot, but I have a nice big open spot underneath it, creating a nice little bit of lace. I think I'll chain, single crochet into the space between the V stitches, chain, 2 double crochets, chain 2, chain 3, finish the picot off, chain 2, 2 double crochets. Chain, single crochet into the space between the V stitches, chain. I'm going to carry on with this pattern going around the snowflake. There we go, another snowflake. Well, I might have enough snowflakes for what I want to do. I'm gonna have to take some measurements and figure this out. Usually when I'm doing something that starts in the middle, I like to cinch down the center very tightly. I don't think I'm going to do that with these ones. I rather like the extra little bit of lace of having the centers open a little bit. And I'm also not going to clip the tail and stitch that in because I'm going to use this to sew them together.
Well, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more of my videos, click subscribe. Until next time, have fun and be creative.